Yes guys, welcome back to Cop Noise TV, where as you can tell from a smile on my face, before we even get into this video, I am wearing the new / old Liverpool 96 away shirt, which Adidas have graced us with once again. Liverpool have teased us with this launch now for several months. We've seen Alexis McAllister wearing it. We've seen Curtis Jones wearing stuff like these images have surfaced on the internet, Instagram, social media, all that stuff, and they did it. They've brought it back, and I for one, I'm absolutely buzzing with it. I actually have this shirt from when I was 10-year-old, but little did I know at the time how much of an iconic shirt it was going to be. When I left my junior school, I wore this shirt and I allowed everyone in my school to sign it. So that I still have the shirt, but it's covered in marker pen. So when I knew Adidas were bringing this back, I had to get it. I do have it. I could have spent an absolute fortune on all the training gear, but I settled for the shirt. I may get a little bit more bits, who knows, but I'm buzzing. I hope you guys like it, which I'm sure you do, because as I say, it's one of the most iconic shirts, especially with it being an away shirt as well. I think that's important because we all symbolise those kind of red iconic shirts. You know, I've got a couple here. I've got one down here, the 92 one. I've got a couple up there. But yeah, absolutely buzzing with this one. So let me know, guys, what you think about this latest drop from Adidas. Right. Liverpool are playing a game this weekend. Never mind kits, we've actually got a game to play, and coming off the back of what was a poor result, poor performance against Galatasaray in the week, Liverpool have got, on paper, the perfect Premier League opposition at home in Tottenham Hotspur. Now, we all know what Tottenham are going through at the moment. Tottenham are sliding down the league like a rock in the ocean. I think the fans, the players, no one really seems to be having this new manager that's come in. He's lost 4 games on the bounce. They're coming off the back of what was an absolutely catastrophic display, especially in the first half, away at Atletico Madrid in the week just gone in the Champions League. And yeah, Liverpool should be putting Tottenham Hotspur to the sword on Sunday. Tottenham, we all know their injury problems. I've also got Mickey van der Ven suspended for this game, so he's not available, and it's just been confirmed today that Paulinho and Christian Romero have failed. I'll confirm that they have failed their concussion protocol tests, so they have also been ruled out of this weekend's fixture. Now that's massive for Tottenham. Now, personally, I don't think Christian Romero is all that, if I'm honest. Yes, look, he's obviously a decent player because he's a World Cup winner, plays for Argentina. You know, he's got that kind of South American spirit about him, but his lack of discipline is ridiculous to say that he's Tottenham's captain. Mickey van der Ven will obviously be a miss, but again, another one of those players that, if he didn't have rapid pace, would he be all that? I don't know, because these players are obviously playing for a depleted Tottenham side at the moment. You know, their injury list, and I will give Tottenham this, is like nothing I've ever seen before. Pretty much, they can field a 1-11 team, I believe, or they could at least a couple of weeks ago. So they're playing with a lot of players in that team that, you know, would not normally get in their first 11. And important also to say that anyone about that club, they've never been in a dogfight like this before, and I think that's why Tottenham are where they are. It was interesting a couple of weeks ago when Ange Postecoglou did the Stick to Football podcast with Neville and Carragher and co, and he mentioned that although they had a terrible season last season where I think they finished 17th, he knew they was never going to go down. Ange Postecoglou knew they was never going to go down. They'd already accumulated enough points by the time they was around like the Europa League quarterfinals, I think, where he could say, right guys, effectively, we're going to fuck this Premier League season off and we're going to stick all our eggs in the basket of winning the Europa League. And look, they did it. And the point that I'm getting at is there was never really in a dogfight, a relegation fight. If you're like, oh yeah, although when you look at the table, it might suggest otherwise. Their points tally, they was never going to go down. So they didn't really have to kind of batten down the hatches, so to speak, kind of fucking all go to war and kind of get themselves out of a relegation fight. And I dare say that they've kind of adopted that same mentality this season by potentially thinking that they're too good to go down. But unfortunately, this season is different because they have not accumulated enough points to stay safe. And all the teams below them, so your Nottingham Forest, your West Ham, even Burnley and Wolves, although I'm kind of putting them to one side because I don't see them getting out of the relegation fight, especially not Wolves. But in particular, Forest and West Ham, they're fighting, they're scrapping. You know, West Ham are taking points off teams. Forest are taking points off Man City last weekend, so or in the week. So Tottenham are shitting themselves now, thinking, fuck, we could actually go down. And they've got no one in that club that can kind of get a hold of them, who's been there, done it, and get them out of it. And they've appointed this manager thinking that he's the guy, the firefighter that's going to come in, that's going to do it. He's never done anything in the Premier League before, and he's not hit the ground running. Let's just put it like that. He kind of came out in the media and publicly kind of slandered the players. I think in his first week or first 2 week of tenure. All the shit obviously happened in the week with Kinski, the goalkeeper, where I think it was the right decision to bring him off the field, absolutely. But to not acknowledge him, and I mean, I'm sure when he got in the changing rooms, he potentially will have done something, but it doesn't look good considering where Spurs are. Spurs don't need any more bad press. And to not acknowledge him, not kind of put an arm around the shoulder, give him a hug, a little bit of a pat on the back, just word in his ear to say, don't worry about it, we'll deal with this in the dressing room, no nothing. And I think also, did he bring Jed Spence off that game in Atletico Madrid as well? And he didn't acknowledge him, and I think Jed Spence made a beeline, made a point of going up to him and kind of patting him and shaking his hand. The club's just an absolute fucking mess at the moment. As I say, their injury list is as fucking tall as my house. Their discipline is shit, hence why kind of Mickey van der Ven's not playing. Christian Romero's probably I think he's had 3 red cards this season, something like that. He's had a fair few. And the question on everyone's lips is, oh, can Tottenham go down? Yes, absolutely. And if Liverpool do what they should do on Sunday against a depleted Tottenham side, who I dare say you're probably going to have Pedro Porro playing as right centre-half. He's a right back. You're going to have probably Dragusin playing as your centre-half, who is he coming back from an ACL injury? So he's not, think how long it took Virgil van Dijk to come back from his knee injury. It took him pretty much a full season to get back into the swing, back into the top form. And listen, I should never put Dragusin and Virgil van Dijk in the same sentence, so fucking forgive me for that. But he's not even that good anyway. That's my point I'm being. And I think on left hand side, I don't even know the play, but what my point being is, Tottenham, or should I say Liverpool, should have enough to put this Tottenham side to bed early doors. And I'm not going to lie, I'm a little bit nervous because it should be an easy or easy-ish game for Liverpool. And look, I know no game is easy, but if Liverpool are professional, do their job correctly, I don't see anything but a comfortable win for Liverpool and more misery for Tottenham, unfortunately. Right, with that being said, let's have a look at Liverpool. So as I alluded to at the top of the show, Liverpool are coming off the back of what was a pretty abject performance away in Istanbul against Galatasaray. Liverpool started well, you know. Let's not kid ourselves. Liverpool could have been 2 or 3 goals up. We missed an open goal in the first couple of minutes. Florian Wirtz, and fair enough, yeah, he was 20 odd yards out, but still, a guy with the technical ability of Florian Wirtz, you'd like to think that 9 times out of 10 he sticks that one away. You know, we miss chances in the second half. Hugo Ekitike has a one-on-one, he has a header, we get a goal disallowed. So although we wasn't great on the eye, if you want to call that, but, you know, we wasn't playing the kind of sexy football that Ruud Gullit once alluded to, we had chances. And I think that is one thing that I can say about Liverpool, that no matter what kind of performance we put in, whether it be a Real Madrid earlier in the season at home when we put a great performance in, whether it's a Liverpool team that go to the San Siro in the Champions League and grind out a 1-0 win, whether it's a Liverpool team that stink out the gaff playing a 0-0 draw at home to Leeds, you know, there's so many kind of different layers to Liverpool's performances this season that although we're not playing the most attractive football, we still create chances. We do. And if we stick our chances away, Liverpool should piss this game. Absolutely piss it. And it's going to come down to, well, it's going to be interesting, should I say, who Arne Slot selects for this game, because I have no doubt that, yes, fair enough, the kind of the cliche line, if you like, about we take one game at a time, there's no doubt in my mind that Arne Slot will have half an eye on Galatasaray and also a little bit looking towards Brighton the weekend after as well. So this is a crucial part of the season for the Reds, and I alluded to this period a few shows ago. I can't remember what build-up show it was in, but I said that we need to take maximum points from, I think it was West Ham, Tottenham, Brighton and Wolves. Obviously we lost to Wolves, so maximum points is out of the window, it's gone. But results have kind of kept us in this top 3 fight, if you like. You know, we've been talking about the top 4, top 5 for what feels like all season now, because, you know, we was out of the title race quite early, so we pinned all our hopes upon getting a decent cup run in the Champions League, in the domestic cup, well, the FA Cup, because we was out of the Carabao early. But the point I'm trying to make is that I've no doubt Arne Slot will be thinking about Galatasaray. And with that being said, I want to have a look at what I think, where the areas are in what could be not selection headaches, but areas where Arne Slot may rotate. Now, we don't know about the goalkeeper. Arne Slot's done his press conference today, and he said that Alisson may be included in the session. So I'm filming this on Friday. Alisson may be included in the training session today. So it remains to be seen whether Alisson Becker has trained or not, albeit he will potentially have another day of what I guess will be light training on the day before the game. If it was me, I wouldn't be rushing Alisson Becker back, because at the end of the day, we're playing Tottenham. Tottenham are a team that are fighting relegation. You'd expect Liverpool to have a lot of possession. I would be more than happy for Mamardashvili to continue playing in goal for Liverpool. Other areas, there's definitely a question at right back. Does Joe Gomez continue, or does he bring Jeremy Frimpong in? Personally, I'd like to see Jeremy Frimpong in there. I think he adds a little bit of a dynamic edge, if you like, to that right hand side. It allows Mo Salah to kind of tuck in a little bit more and be more dangerous where Mo Salah can be dangerous, because Mo Salah hogging a touchline, getting doubled up on, does nothing. And I dare say a lot of the games Mo Salah has 2 men in front of him, and what can he do? Mo Salah is not gonna, shimmy in between 2 or 3 players and stick it in the top bins, and that, you know, that's not Mo Salah's game. He's a predator in and around the box now. So if we can get Jeremy Frimpong occupying the touchline, that then allows Mo Salah to come inside. And it's going to be interesting how Liverpool play this, because we know Tottenham are going to play with wing backs. So Mo Salah coming inside and Jeremy Frimpong occupying the space in behind. It gives Tottenham to think about, because does the centre half come out a little bit to pick up those guys? Does the wing back drop back? So we're making Tottenham answer questions of Liverpool. I think the midfield is interesting, because what I don't want to see is Florian Wirtz play another game for Liverpool on the left wing like he did in Galatasaray. I think we have to kind of forgive him a little bit that he didn't have his greatest game, albeit he was coming back from an injury, a little bit of ring rust if you like, but he's wasted out there. Florian Wirtz is a number 10. Florian Wirtz has the capabilities to be one of the best number 10s in world football. I have no doubt about that. Clip it up all you want. He is that good of a player. Liverpool have to build an attack around Florian Wirtz, and Florian Wirtz has to play in the 10 for me, because one, he's great at it, but two, Tottenham are probably going to occupy some kind of low block, if you like. Tottenham, I don't think are going to play this expansive football of, they're going to try and stay in the game as long as possible in the hope that Liverpool will give them chances, because at the end of the day, Liverpool do give up chances every now and again. So the midfield has to be worked around Florian Wirtz in the 10. So if Florian Wirtz comes from the left to the 10, that then gives a question for the left-hand side. And you've got 2 names. You've got Cody Gakpo or Rio Wingamoa. Now, I think the manager made the right call not starting Rio Wingamoa in Turkey in the week. I think that was the right call. I think maybe it was the wrong game, the wrong atmosphere, all that jazz, if you like. I think this is the perfect game for Rio Wingamoa to start another game of football for Liverpool. You're playing against a depleted, a rundown, a zero confidence Tottenham Hotspur team, and you're playing at Anfield as well. So you're going to get the crowd. Rio Wingamoa is a guy that gets crowds on the edge of the feet. And listen, this could be a game potentially that kind of gets dragged into the last stages. After 60-70 minutes, Liverpool could be, I don't know, let's say we're still 0-0, chasing down a goal. Tottenham are digging in. We're finding it hard to break them down. What happens then with Anfield is the crowd obviously get a little bit edgy, a little bit frustrated, a few moans and groans and a few frustrations start creeping in, as that is normal if you've got a player like Rio Wingamoa operating continuously, kind of running at his man. That keeps the crowd engaged, because it gives them something to kind of cling on to, lift a bit of excitement, think, oh, Rio's got the ball, what's he going to do now? So I think this is a perfect game to play Rio Wingamoa from the start. Right, let's have a look at what I think not should do, what I think he will do, Arne Slot, for his starting 11. Right, looking at what I think Arne Slot will do for his starting 11, I think Mamardashvili will play. I don't see a world in which Liverpool or Arne Slot risk Alisson Becker's fitness for the latter end of the season. You know, Alisson Becker is still, whether he's nursing a hamstring injury or whatever the injury is, Arne Slot just said it's a muscle injury. He didn't allude to kind of what muscle it was. Risking Alisson Becker would be a wild decision for me. And as I say, I expect Liverpool to dominate the ball in this and have a lot of possession. Hopefully, give the goalkeeper a quiet-ish day, if you like. So, Mamardashvili will play in goal for me. Right back, Jeremy Frimpong. I think he will start this game, and I am looking forward to him starting this game, because he's a player that kind of, he makes stuff happen for me. You know, there was question marks about him at the beginning of the season, but he makes stuff happen. You get him in that final third, and he excites me. He gets me off my seat. He gets balled into the box. We all know what he's going to do. He's going to kind of stand his man up. He's going to wait for the moment. He's going to kick it down the line, and he's going to run after it and get a ball in. But he creates he creates kind of chaos and confusion in the defence, and he creates chances for Liverpool. And the prime example was when he kind of put one on a plate the other week, West Ham at home, for Trey Nyoni to score. Unfortunately, Trey didn't score on that occasion, but that just shows what Frimpong can do and what he brings to this team. Centre halves take care of itself. You're going to have Virgil van Dijk and Ibu Konate, although I thought Konate was atrocious in Istanbul. His form has been really good recently, so let's hope Ibu kind of gets the nightmare that was Istanbul out of his head quickly, and he gets back to playing the form that he showed in kind of recent weeks. Excuse me. At left back, he's going to go Milos Kerkez, but I think Slot got this one slightly wrong the other day. I would have played Andy Robertson at left back in the week, but I see Milos Kerkez, you know, he is Liverpool's first choice left back now, although Andy Robertson kind of showed what he can do playing in that Wolves game. Midfield, this is an interesting one depending on where he plays Florian Wirtz, and I think that Arne Slot will do the right thing here. I really do. And I'm going to go for Dominic Szoboszlai and Ryan Gravenberch. They're going to be your kind of pivots, if you like. And then in front of them, Florian Wirtz playing where he should be playing, in that kind of 8/10 role, basically the freedom of Anfield. You go do, Florian, what you need to do to win us this game. That's what Arne Slot needs to be saying to this kid. And I hope for all those fans that that's what he does. I'll go right to left rather than left to right. I'll kind of keep the left-hand side in suspense. Mo Salah's going to play because we don't have any competition for Mo Salah's right-hand side, so he will play. Up top, Hugo Ekitike. Although I could see a world where Cody Gakpo could play with a view of keeping Ekitike fresh for Galatasaray the second leg, but I think maybe Ekitike will get kind of 60-70 and Gakpo may come after that. And then on the left hand side, drum roll please, I do think Arne Slot will play Rio Ingamoa. I really, really do. I've got a hunch that he's not going to play him in the Galatasaray game. He may get minutes in the Galatasaray game depending on how the game goes. But I think this is a perfect game, and I think Slot will do what all those fans are kind of craving for. That's a little bit more of Rio Ingamoa. He showed what he can do in the Wolves tie in the FA Cup, and I think he will chuck him in for this one again. Let me know, guys, what you think in the comments, what you think Arne Slot will do for a starting 11. And in terms of a score prediction, I think Liverpool will win this game 2-0, and I'm going for Florian Wirtz and Mohamed Salah to be on the score sheet. Let me know what you think score-wise, guys, in the comments below. And don't forget, if you haven't already, get over to the homepage, hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button if you like thumbs up button if you like the video. And yeah, I'll catch you in a bit. Up the Reds.